Roberts what your name is.
Sheldon Roberts.
And Sheldon, if you could, tell me what you are.
I am mixed. I am black and white. My dad is black. My mom is white. My mom has some Pennsylvania Dutch in her. My dad, I'm not really sure about his African lineage, but I am mixed, and I identify myself as black and white.
Black and white?
Yes.
Okay.
What's your name and how old are you?
My name's Dane Lieberman, and I'm 22.
And what's your background?
I'm half white, half Asian. The Asian part is from Laos, and I really don't know the white part, but I was adopted to a Filipino mother and a Jewish white father, and I have a Korean sister.
Alright, so what's your name?
My name is Adrian Ferro Antonio.
And how old are you?
I am 22 years old.
And what are you?
I am Filipino. Well, actually, I'm mixed. One of my grandfathers was Chinese. One of my grandfathers was half Spanish, but I associate more
My name
with...
is Neelam Sharma, and I'm 23 years old.
And what is your background?
I'm half Indian. My father's from India, and half Hispanic. My mother's from Honduras, which is in Central America.
Jeffrey Leonard Jenkins.
And how old are you?
24 years young.
And what's your nationality?
Korean American.
Okay, have you ever used being multiracial to your advantage?
Yes. In job applications and when I celebrate 2 New Year's.
Or personally?
Those are two different questions.
Well, we'll start with the personal first. We'll go to political second.
Okay. Personally, I don't feel a need to identify with one group or another, whether it's, I don't necessarily feel the need to identify with black or with white. I feel that I'm both. And so it all depends on the situation that I'm in. If I'm around more white people, then I tend to act more white. If I'm around more black people, I tend to act more black. It all just depends on what I need to do, say, or...
When I'm at home, I feel like I identify more with my Asian side because of my mother and my sister. And that's pretty much all types of Asian, not just the certain country. But when I'm with my friends, it really doesn't matter. I can be Asian, white, or mixed.
Are your friends of different racial backgrounds?
Some are, but I've thought about it, and really I hung out with mainly just white.
Okay.
But I do have some friends that are, different races and also multiracial, but I just feel that sometimes it's harder to connect with different races.
Okay. And can you share a personal experience when you felt targeted as a multiracial? Can you think of anything that really brought out and made you think about being multiracial or made you aware of it?
Not really.
Okay.
But looking at my family, I feel that it's helped me understand a little bit more about who I am because of my mother being, Filipino and my sister being Korean. It helped me understand who my part as an Asian than just, if I was adopted by a whole, all white family.
Okay.
Made that connection to my birth parents a little bit easier.
Okay. And that could definitely be seen as an advantage. Do you feel like there are any other advantages or disadvantages to being multiracial?
I feel that one of the disadvantages is is that when you try to, make new friends or meet people that are of a certain race, it's hard for someone who is multiracial to connect with that person because you really don't know where you fit in or how they look at you, because they might be looking at you as someone who is not of that race or who is but really doesn't know anything. So
Okay. And does your environment, meaning like who you're around or even just certain places, change your extrinsic or intrinsic qualities, such as the way you act, dress, or speak?
yeah, it does. But I feel that does to everyone. It doesn't matter who we're with, who I'm with, we all, act differently. Doesn't matter if they're, doesn't matter about their race or anything. It just certain personality types makes us change who we are because we want to make sure that we're accepted by them.
Okay. And finally, is there a particular ethnicity you prefer when you date?
I would like to say no, but subconsciously, yeah, and I feel that it is with everyone. If you ask anyone, they're going to say that they prefer a certain race over another. And I feel that looking back of all the girls that I've liked and dated, they're all white, but that's just me.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, and which side do you most identify with, and why, if you do identify with one more than the
I
other?
definitely identify more with my Hispanic side because my mother was pretty much a stay-at-home mom, so I spent more of my time with her. She taught me Spanish. My father never taught me Hindi, so I only speak Spanish. I have more of my Hispanic family here, so I'm closer to them, and not so much Indian family, so I was never really exposed to the Indian culture as much as the Hispanic culture. So.
Okay. And can you share a personal experience when you felt perhaps targeted as a multiracial, or where you were made more aware of being multiracial?
Well, here in the United States, it's kind of like, so everybody's just so different and stuff that I don't even notice it here. But when I went to India, I decided to start like looking into India myself and just learning about my culture myself. Like my family didn't really teach me, so I went on a study abroad trip about like a year and a half ago to India, and I really noticed it then because when people heard my last name, they knew I was Indian, but I didn't get the same respect from them that a normal Indian person would get because they knew that I was Hispanic also, and I didn't speak their language, so they didn't really, what's the word, like take me in as much as they would have if I was there with another like full Indian person, and they loved him. They treated us much differently. Like they embraced him and they made him feel more at home than they did me. So it was a little sad, but
Interesting. And kind of going off of that, are there any advantages you feel or disadvantages to being multiracial?
advantages here, I think, to being multiracial. I just feel like I have a bigger really worldview. I have a more well-rounded like view of the world, and just like me, like a more well-rounded view of myself. Just I feel like I know more about things just because I'm multiracial. So.
Okay. And does your environment change your extrinsic or intrinsic